Hello guys and welcome back. So now let's work in the home screen. So the first thing to do in the home screen, we need to import some assets, okay? These assets are the ones we're going to use for some dummy data before we start reading the real data from Firestore. So let's quickly do that. So for that, first I'm just gonna come here on the root of the document here, on the root of our application, right click, and then I'm just gonna create a new folder named assets, okay? Like that. I'm gonna click enter. Okay, now here I'm gonna minimize this and then come to my desktop. Here I have this folder, so let me just open it. So here's the folder. In this folder I've got images and wallpapers. Okay, these wallpapers that I generated and saved them in the sequence like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna, what I'll do is let's open up the application. Inside assets here, I'm gonna right click and then create a new folder called images. Okay, and then also just inside assets, I'll right click and then create a new folder and then save this as wallpapers. Okay, like that. So now I'm gonna come to my desktop here and then I'm gonna get all of these wallpapers. Just gonna move them to my VS Code here inside wallpapers. Okay, I've copied them inside here. Then I'm gonna go back and then go to the images, copy these three images, come to my VS Code and then put them under images. All right, now I'm gonna minimize this and then I have that. Next, I'm gonna go to my pubs.yml, then come down where we say assets here and then just comment this, then remove that and then put this just below the second S. And then we have assets, put a slash, and then let's remove that. And then we can do the same even for the wallpapers. So here we have assets, wallpapers, and then let's have them like that. Okay, so now once we have that, I'm gonna also save again this assets folder and then I'm gonna close that and then that's it. Just like that, we have added the assets in our application. All right, so now the next thing to do now is to create the wallpaper class. Okay, so let's quickly create that. So now here on the lib here, I'm gonna right click and then also create another new folder. Let's make this as models. Okay, this is where we're going to create all our model classes. So now under model, let's right click, new file, let's create our wallpaper. Okay, this is just going to be wallpaper.dat. Okay, now let's create this class wallpaper. Now this wallpaper, I'm gonna give it some variables that we need. Okay, so first let's have a wallpaper ID, final string, wallpaper. I'm gonna go with wallpaper ID, and then let's have the name, going to be a name, and then what else? We're going to have a creator ID. So this URL, let's name it as image URL. What's next? We're going to need the author name. So instead of author name, we're going to call it as creator ID. So yeah, what else? We're going to need the prompt. Okay, and then we're going to need the tags. Okay, so okay, yeah, we're gonna need category as well, and then we're going to need a list of tags. Okay, so these tags, we're going to use it for search. Okay, so you may ask, okay, gonna need tags because we create a different kind of search to search these wallpapers. Okay, that's why I need these tags, because we are going to use them as for search. Okay, so let's get the created that the date time, and then let's also get the not that we need the int of likes. Okay, we also need the int of comments. Okay, so what else do we need here? Okay, let's store a boolean of is AI generated. Okay, is AI I'm gonna say is AI generated. Okay, yeah, I think this is enough. Wallpaper ID, name, image, and then yeah, I think there's nothing else we need. Now let's have a constructor. So this we're going to require all of these. So let's just let the assistant create all of these, and then this is going to be is AI generated. Then let's close that out like that. Okay, now after this we need to create a from map and to map, because we're going to save this to fast. Now before we create this, I want to create some constances for all of these. Okay, now for saving time, I'm just gonna paste these. You guys, you can just copy from what I will paste here. Okay, so let me quickly paste these. So I'm gonna paste these, call them wallpaper constants. So what's missing here? Maybe tags. So created that, and then we AI generated, and then tags. I think everything is here. Yeah, and the name. What else? Yeah, okay, that's it. That's it. Now if we come here, we need now to create the from map and to map method. Okay, so let's come here and then let's create the factory to map. Okay, let's see if the assistants will do what we want to do quickly. So it's going to say wallpaper from map from JSON. Okay, we can either call it from map or from JSON, but let me call it from map. And then we have a map there. And then here, what we have to do is we need to return the wallpaper. Okay, so let me just do it like, okay, this is going to take some time to update all of that. So let me just say wallpaper. Yeah, it should know that I want to use constants. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, let's just correct it here. So this does not close like that. Let's close it, and then we will put what is needed inside here, and then we have to close it also there. So this requires, first let's import the constant class so that we can call all of that. Now let's go through. So if this ID is empty, if there's nothing, we want to put an empty string. Also here we want to put an empty string. Also here we want to make sure we have that. Okay, create the ID, image ID, and then also the prompt. We want to do this, and then the category. We also want to do this, and then now the tags. So for the tags, we also can return an empty list, okay, an empty array like that. And then for the date time, so how we're going to save the date time here, we need to say date time dot from milliseconds since epochs, and then here we have to say map, and then this map we're going to call our constants dot created that, and then if there's nothing there, again we're going to call our date time dot now from milliseconds since epochs, like that. Okay, so what else is missing there? After the date, we're going to have what? After the date is going to have likes, and then we have comments, and then we have is AI generated, and then the error is gone. Okay, now after this we're going to create the to map. So I'm sure AI will do this quickly. Okay, now we have that. So just like this, our wallpaper class is done. Okay, now we also need to create the categories list inside this wallpapers class, and then also we're going to have a dummy list of wallpapers of 10 items, which I will just paste here. So for time saving, so you guys will just copy from here, okay, because we're going to need that initial list to display here. Okay, so what I will do is let me also just copy them right here. Okay, so here is a list of categories that we are going to have. Okay, I've just created a static list of string categories, which is we are going to have all categories. So because we're going to use this list also in the home screen and also when choosing the categories. Okay, so these are the categories that we will have. You can just copy these and then put them also as well. And then let me also paste the list of the first 10 items that we use as dummy data. Okay, so but before that we need a assets class, okay, so that we can manage our assets here. Okay, so for that we have to come back in the lib. Let's create a utility folder, utilities. Inside here, let's create a file. Let's name assets manager.dat, so that we can manage our assets in one place. So assets. So first we want to get the images path. Okay, so let's call images path. So this one is going to come from our images path. So let's go static string images path. Okay, so looks like my assistant is not reading. I mean, I have to check my internet. So let's go assets slash images. Okay, so this is going to be just the images path, everything from here. Okay, now let's make also the wallpapers path. Okay, let's create wallpapers path. So this is also going to start from the static string wallpapers path. This is going to come from assets wallpapers. Okay, so just like that, and then we close it out like this. All right, now we have the path for the images and the wallpapers. Now we just need to reference these. Okay, so first let's start with the user icon. Okay, let's call our static final. Okay, yeah, it's going to be that, but we want to call our user icon. Okay, so we can just call this as a string. Okay, sorry, static string user icon is going to come from the image path, and then we're going to call our user icon. Okay, so this image is going to be this user icon that I added here. Okay, it has to be exactly the same. And then next, what we need, let's call our Google icon. Okay, Google icon. So the Google icon is going to come from the image path, which is called Google, not Google icon. Let's just say Google, and then it's a JPG like that. And then last one, we need the Apple. It's called Apple icon. So the Apple icon is going to come from the image, which is called Apple logo. That's how I've saved it here, .jpg. Okay, these has to be exactly the same, so this is also called like that. Okay, Apple logo. Okay, now I need to call these wallpapers. Okay, these ones here. Okay, all of these. Okay, you can see how I've named them. So now let's call the wallpapers. Okay, So it's wallpaper 1, it's named it as wallpaper 1, but we want to name them as these names. Okay, so this one I'm gonna name it as the way it is, abstract. I'm gonna say abstract neon lights. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to get the wallpapers path, and then I'm going to get the name exactly as it's written here. So this one is 01. Okay, I need to turn on my numpad. 01, and then it's called what? Abstract, and then what? Neon lights.jpg. Okay, you just need to be careful, this has to be exactly the same with this. Okay, so I've got that one right. Let me correct that. I think I've got it right. So hopefully the assistant will read this and then it will do this quickly, other than me writing this one by one. So let's see. Okay, it looks like, okay, it's just doing the same thing that I'm doing. Okay, it has to do this one. Okay, I'm just gonna write this one really quickly, guys, so that we can proceed with the video. Okay, just actually going to paste them up here. Okay, because I've already written them up. So let me quickly do that. All right, so now I've pasted all of these here. So you can see that this first one is this one that I've done, and then the next one is going to be this one, until all of these, they are the one that I've just put here. Okay, so like this, our asset manager class is done. We can go ahead and close and then save it. Now let's create a list of 10 of those images here, because we want to use them in the home screen. Okay, so let's create those here. So here we're gonna come here, and then let's just say list of 10 wallpapers. Okay, let's see if okay, our assistant is almost trying to do that, but again it's failing. So anyway, let's complete that list like that, and then let's close it out, and then inside here we need to create the wallpapers. Okay, so first let's just say wallpaper. You can see that it needs all these variables because it's this wallpaper that we are creating. Okay, it's gonna need all of these variables. Okay, so even these, I'm just gonna paste them, but let me just create one here so that I can show you guys how we can just create one. Okay, so for the wallpaper ID, we're just gonna put our dummy IDs here. Like this one, we're just gonna put one, and then for the name, the first one is our abstract that. So what we're gonna put here is going to be the same abstract neon lights, like that. And then the image URL, this now is going to come from our assets manager .abstract neon lights. Okay, this asset that we have put, if we come back here, it's calling this one. Okay, which is exactly that. Okay, now for the creator ID, for the first one here, what we're gonna do for the creator ID, so also this one, because this is just dummy data, we're going to put one. And then for the prompt, I'm going to copy the prompt that I've used to generate this image. Okay, I've generated this image, like I said, I don't know if I explained. I've generated these images with Gemini. Okay, I was just prompting Gemini to generate all of these. Okay, so here on the prompt, I will paste the prompt that I used to generate this with Gemini. Okay, so, and then on the category, so the category, this one, I'm going to add it from one of these category, but which is going to be this abstract. Okay, let's paste it here. And then for the tags, for now, we're going to leave them empty. And then I created that. Let's just get the current date time dot now for everything. Okay, so for the likes, this one we're just gonna put 10, and then the comments maybe 2, and then is AI generated? Yeah, this is AI generated. We're gonna say true. Okay, so this is just how one is going to be like this. Okay, we can go ahead and put a comma, and then let me just paste the prompt that I used here. So let me get it. So I'm gonna paste this prompt here. So this is the prompt that I used that generated this image. Okay, so this is one image. Now I'm just gonna paste the rest of them so that we can have at least 10 images, like all of these that I've generated with the dummy data. Okay, so let me quickly paste the rest of the image, the wallpapers here. Okay, all right, I've copied those wallpapers. Now I'm just gonna come down here and paste them out. Okay, great. So now you can see that I've got this second one with the prompt. So these are the exact prompt that I used to generate these images. If you want, you can try them out. Okay, so I've just pasted them as dummy data. This is the data that we'll use to create our UI and everything else, and then from that we are going to remove it and populate it with the real-time data from Fast. So that's it about this video, guys. This was just setting up our wallpaper class and then adding our assets. Okay, so this asset folder, once again, I will put it in the description. If you want to use these assets, you can just download them and use them. So yeah, that's it, guys, and I thank you and see you in the next video.